Welcome back everyone. Marco Collectible Gamer 77 here and welcoming you to this quick overview of the quarter scale Hot Toys Spider-Man from Homecoming. I do apologize for the delay with this video. I've been a little bit busy but I'm glad to record this now. Then here's a close-up look of the outer box of the Spider-Man Hot Toys Deluxe Homecoming figure. Quarter scale edition number 15 or series number 15 as they go through. Looking forward to the Mandalorian to arrive with Grogu. And with the back here you can see quarter scale collectible series, all the accepted producers, head sculptures, head paint. Nice and shiny. And of course Hot Toys. Alright, taking a look at the first layer of the tray that actually houses the body and also the hands. One of the closed fist hands. This one of course has his left hand, comes affixed to the body. I did replace the hand itself as well. As you can see, good texturing, again, good paint, very well done. Next you've got his kind of a posed holding an accessory hand. Again, the nice part is not only is it painted well, there's also good texture to it. You can actually feel kind of the smaller ridges of the webbing of the suit. And next, his other fisted hand. Again, the figure does ship with the fisted hands. And of course, the classic Spider-Man web shooting pose hand fingers. And also this hand. So the nice part is, again, with the Hot Toys, especially with the quarter scale, I was a fan of the 6 scale when I first started, but I just like the presence that the quarter scale have in regards to the figure themselves. Again, very similar set also for the left hand. So that way you can pose them in any manner you like. And then the accessory that does come with the figure, fixed to the figure I should say, is his masked portrait. Very well done, good texture. Head's feeling pretty light actually. The only gripe that I do have is when you do affix the head to the body, unfortunately the seams aren't very well hidden, so you can see it, but honestly I don't know how they would have hidden that. But it's only if you're really looking at it in kind of a nitpicking, since it's not a whole piece of the suit. I wish it went a little bit lower, but I think over time that extra loose material probably would not look very good on the figure itself. I decided not to put the Spider-Man head on, only because I did like the Tom Holland unmasked portrait more, and that really fit my kind of move room idea. Next level after that foam tray is this humongous amount of accessories that the figure comes with. And in that first tray you can see the various different spider webs that you can affix to his hands for different poses, whether that be swinging or shooting out his webbing. Also you've got, for the deluxe edition, the virtual hologram of the city. Got some other pieces that affix to the base, which I did not attach. Again, you could easily do it. I decided not to, only because it just added to the extra size of the figure itself, and I did want to put it in a detail, so I decided not to put it for now. And it doesn't definitely take away or detract from the way I have displayed And in the future, if I want to change a few things, especially the display, I have the ability to do that. And the next is his spider webbing wings, which are affixed to the figure itself using these small magnetic strips. It's got a very kind of a fragile texture. Actually, no, not as fragile as I thought. Just a very smooth texture to it. I am not going to be posing him with it just because definitely not the pose that I want to do for mine. You can also do, of course, affix this to any of the ends of the web shooters. And then to increase the amount of display options, you do have various different eyes that you can affix to the mask. You do, of course, also have the mini spider scout, which does come off if you decide to take it off from this base. It also comes with this little gauntlet holographic interface accessory. And of course his cell phone with the cracked screen and picture of Ned. Very well done considering how small this piece is. Again, at least not as small as a 6 scale, but pretty nice. And then the eyes themselves, as I mentioned earlier. And it'd be a little interesting to try to do this one-handed, but the eyes are magnetically attached to the figure. And I don't have enough nails to take it off, so let me see if I can just... I actually took 2 hands because I had to hold the head and take it off. And here is one of the eye masks, again affixed by a magnet to the back of it. So if you did want to change it and say have a quizzical or surprise look, you can do that. So that also definitely adds to the poses and the variety that you can have this figure in. Again, one of the nice things about the Hot Toys quarter scale, or Hot Toys really in general, is that it is definitely a lot more posable than what you can do with a statue. I do prefer actually having both. Then the layer after that just basically has the larger portions of the base, which I don't need to show you too much just because it's early. This is the bottom or third portion of the base. Again, pretty straightforward. Again, larger pieces have been removed. I did keep, of course, the instructions here. I do recommend taking a look at those instructions, especially if you're going to put the base together. There are a ton of pieces. It does come with some extra pegs. Got a waist gripper, which affixes to the pole, which can again attach to the base if you want to put them into a swinging or in the air kind of kinetic pose. And the good steady pull right here, and trying to see, and it is flexible, so you can bend and move it around to capture the way you want him to look on the base. Alright, now that we've got those out of the way, here's a look at the figure the way I'm actually going to have it displayed. As you can see, the sculpt of that Tom Holland head is very well done. Definitely one of their better sculpts that they've done. I think it's one of the updated heads that Hot Toys has sculpted. Of course, with quarter scale, there's definitely a lot more room for detail. Better look at the base itself. It is fairly large. I personally like it. I didn't even add in all the other pieces that you could do to it. This is the deluxe version, so you can actually add and subtract and put it in different ways. This is the way I liked it because I already had planned to put it on the Detolf. You can get it fairly large because, again, there's a huge amount of options you can change and put the base in. You can even have him swinging, but I thought this was a nice kind of standing reflective moment. He's got his backpack on, his mask is off, looking out towards the city, Spider-Man style. Again, a slightly closer look at that head sculpt. Very well done. Great texture in the face. Excellent painting. Good hairstyle. And I think it looks really good with this head sculpt because then you don't, the seams don't really show as well. The body itself, as you can see, the costume is pretty snug, and I'll talk about that a bit later. Moving down to that, I don't want to say removable, but already separated mask, which I like him holding. All the way down to the feet. Again, lower part of the base. That turbine in the back does light up. I did not put any batteries in this diorama, only because I didn't want them to leak. But you could do that if needed. There is also, of course, Vulture's helmet. Pretty decently detailed. Again, some folks do prefer their more kind of simple bases, but honestly, for my Hot Toys figures, I do prefer, especially the quarter scale ones, I do prefer more of a diorama style. Adds a lot more presence to the piece. There is a Vulture's wing right there. You can actually change that around. It does also move, so it folds in and out. So you can add a little bit of like extra kinetic action to the pose if you were, maybe doing him in a swinging pose or shooting out his web line. I decided to pose him this way. Again, amazing piece. It's hard to believe that they've come this far, and these are what high-end collectibles look like. Definitely looking forward to The Mandalorian and Grogu, hopefully in December or January. I don't see that Taiwan or China has it yet, so usually as soon as the YouTubers in Asia start reviewing it, usually America will get it within at least the next month or so. So I'm hoping that happens fairly quickly, while of course keeping their standards of quality up. The body itself fits very well to the figure. Again, some more views of the figure itself. And also one of the nice things that I do like, since it's Hot Toys, is if it falls, you don't break it. And here is back at the base. And one of the nice things that since it is a figure and fell over, it didn't break, which can't be said if it was a statue. So that's definitely one of those things I am glad of. Looking one of the larger accessories that was on the figure is the backpack itself. Again, it's very well done. There's a little bit of a styrofoam inside. Straps, a little attention to detail. It's even got the little retaining buckle. A little tab. Little mesh pockets for a water bottle. Very well done. And yes, as I mentioned, the zippers do work. And back looking to the figure itself. The suit itself is pretty tight. Definitely fits snugly around the figure. It does, with most tight costumes, impair some of the mobility a little bit. Only because I wouldn't want to keep the creases like that or things like that basically ruin the figure. Right now you can, of course, as always with every Hot Toys, the shoulders are on a ball joint, and they do of course have quite a bit of range that way. It is a double jointed elbow, so let's get good extreme bend. Of course, pegs. Fortunately, with this, his web shooters, it actually hides the seam for the hand fairly well. They of course have different hands, and I'll show that soon. And then the actual legs, they kind of tucked here to one. Can move to about this point. Again, also ratcheted, and the leg itself can have a pretty good knee bend. The ankle as well, part of the costume. It's got a little bit of mobility. It also is kind of ratcheted and bald, as you can probably hear. Well done though. I'm just kind of curious how this will last over time as far as the fabric material. At least it's not pleather, so it should do fairly well. but primarily I am going to have him standing on the base and not an action pose. And the next accessory is the mask. I honestly don't know if it fits on the head. I doubt it will and have the same effects, especially since, of course, his hair is sculpted. But I do like the fact that they included it. Again, decent detail. I am kind of bummed that doesn't quite affix to the material as close as I would like, but if he had it flat, like the way it's supposed to look, if he was holding it in his hand, it's actually not too bad. Once I can get it futzed into place. Alright everyone, and with that ends this quick overview of the quarter scale Hot Toys Spider-Man from Homecoming. Hope you enjoyed. Again, thank you everyone for liking and subscribing. Please comment. Again, the next video will be hopefully the Mandalorian with Grogu, also by Hot Toys Quarter Scale. Also looking forward to receiving the J&D Studios Joker close to the end of this year, and reviewing that then possibly next year with J&D Studios Catwoman. Have a great, great November.